All right. Good afternoon, YouTube. This is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bill and Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Right here we have my partner Jen. You know, hello, yo, Jared.
Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry,
All right.
I don't know why it changes up sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy about technology. So anyway, folks, we have our partner Jen here, the hand of the Emperor, our man of knowledge and intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah. And today, this is Must Talk episode 93. 93, just a few more, would be 97. So, folks, we had a show this weekend, and this was a show we had the biggest lineup in women's bodybuilding for the season. I think we still got Chicago coming up, still got Tampa, and also we have the Savannah Pro in September. There's also another show at the same time this weekend. It's also the World's Masters show. I don't know if that show is a is Olympia qualifier, because I think next year they're supposed to be having.
It's it's not. I don't think it is.
No, it's not. But it's on the list for shows for women's bodybuilding. So technically, after Chicago, this show, the show in Savannah and um, uh, Chicago, this show, Tampa, so Savannah. There's only 4 shows left for women's bodybuilding. 3 are Olympic qualifications. So, and and anything after that is 2 more shows coming up. Actually, 3 more. You have the Rising Phoenix. Technically, it's points, but the fact is, we all know it's a stacked show, and particularly, no one's going to earn their Olympic qualifications for next year at that show because we all know who's going to win it. And then you have shows in Europa, that's in Spain, and the Arena Muscle Fest. There was the big man show, but they dropped it this year. I think they don't have it anymore. I don't know. It's just how it's. So anyway, me rambling on. We had the Tampa Bay show. I'm sorry. The Lindenberg inaugural Atlanta show. Now, the show was a replacement for Norfolk. Linda's Norfolk show. It started around about I think 2015, 2016, and she shut that show down in Norfolk, Virginia, and she moved the show to Atlanta. So she has her 2 shows in Georgia now, Atlanta and Savannah. And this is one of the shows where, like Norfolk, women's bodybuilding is at the forefront. I do have men's classic, men's physique, and figure, but that's it. Because I think one thing why I was actually say why don't we have men's bodybuilding. One thing is that you have to repay the guys. They're not gonna go there for anything less $30,000. And I don't know. If Linda had I think if she had the financial means like Arnold Schwarzenegger, her brand can be almost like the next big thing. You can have a Linda Murray in Georgia, a Linda Murray in California, Texas, New York. Even some other country like Mexico or Europe. But that's precise. So anyway, we'll be talking about this show. As you know, Michaela Aycock won the Linda show, and this is her going to be her 3rd appearance at the Olympia. 2 times a female bodybuilder and 1 time a physique competitor. And if you watch my channel, I did a video congratulating her, but also I did a video where she was in Atlanta, her car got broken into, and somebody stole her gear with her posing suits, her other jewelry and stuff that she used for stage, and that's just something that's awful. I mean, I hope this doesn't sour her on the city of Atlanta. Atlanta's a great city, where I've heard. I know some people and some friends and some family members have been there. I've been to, I've never been myself. Maybe if I could afford it, I would go, but I can't. But Michaela won this show, and like I said, this was a large lineup. As you know, Michaela took first. Second went to Sherry Primari, who was making her bodybuilding debut. She's been a physique competitor, had competed 2020. And Leah Danny, who took third. She has been competing in bodybuilding quite some time. She competed in New York, and earned her qualification to Olympia. And also, she is going to compete in this year's Rising Phoenix. Fourth is Takeda Redrick, who competed at the Puerto Rico about 3 weeks ago. And I think she made top 5 that show, but she made the switch to women's bodybuilding. Fifth is Shaquita Barrero, who hadn't seen her since New York. And I know my man Jerry, he was there in New York. you'd see Shaquita there, or was she? I know you saw her on the stage, but you see her walking around, you know.
Yes, yes, very specifically, a few feet from me.
Uh-huh.
Not. I also not only did I see Leah Denny, I talked to her specifically.
Yeah, because Vino was working the booth the um at the New York Borough along with Helen Trevino, and I think it was Chelsea Dion.
And the one Russian chick, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Natalia West. I got her last name. It's is it Kovaleva, I think it is. I know she was working the booth at Atlanta, and the thing was Natalia. You ever notice, like she don't really smile. She
She
don't.
doesn't really smile. That's just not her thing, I guess.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But she actually is a lot um, bigger in person than even when I saw her.
Hmm.
Honestly,
Yeah, I've seen some pictures she posts, and look like she got a little bit bigger in another place too. I think she might have got a breast. I think got breast enlargement because she was good size before, but now she's about up there with like I would say, she might be a little bigger than Alicia Young. You think?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or for also just a slight correction because I don't want to forget. They already had the Mr. Big Man Evolution this year. It was at
Yeah,
Portugal.
yeah, that's a big one. But this other show is the Big Man Weekend.
Oh damn, I'm losing track here.
That's all right. That's all right. Because remember they had that last year. That was a show where Nadia Capasotto she won after she won the Romania. Because you had the Big Man Evolution that was last week, and then there was like that right after the Romania they had the Big Man Weekend. I don't think they
Yeah,
have the Big Man Weekend anymore.
yeah, they got one show in Spain instead of two now.
Yeah, because they took the I think they dropped the Big Man Weekend. I don't think they're doing either they dropped anybody for the Big Man Weekend or just the Big Man Weekend's not happening anymore. They took the Europa Championships and pushed it to November. So you have two shows for which would be qualifications for next year. But let's digress. But anyway, after that is Janine Lakowski who took six, and this is something we have. I just been like I'm talking to a couple of ladies on it who done the show. One lady I think well is one Miss Tamara McCarr.
Yep.
Tamara, if I remember, was in the first call outs from the pictures I saw, and I was talking with her. I said, "What happened? You were in the first call outs. How did Shaquita, who's in second, come into the finals?" I mean, it's usually like this. If you ever watch the shows, when they pick usually the top six for the lineup for first call outs, that's the one that's the ones that's guaranteed they're gonna be in the finals and possibly winning their placings. But then this is the first time I ever saw, where which a competitor who was in second call outs get pulled up into the finals.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little bit suspicious. Was everybody else in the first call-outs in the finals other than her?
Pretty much, it was, because Michaela won, Sherry took second, Leah took third, Tequila took fourth, and Janine took sixth because Shaquita was in the second call out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everybody.
Uh, yeah, I don't really know other than um I'd like to see the judges' scorings.
Well, I got a copy of that because they already because some ladies who know me asked me what they had sent the pictures yet. I said no, because usually like if it's not one of the bigger shows, like most definitely like uh Tim Gardner shows or the Olympia or the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, they usually don't set the pictures out. They usually put those shows the pictures be out, especially for the prejudging that same day. And
the pictures are out though.
they're out now. I think you could get out till late this evening because I know I
Yep.
was on. Because I know a lady who I become friendly with. She was asking me, checking. Is the pictures out? Yes and no. They probably won't put them out till either later that evening or to that next. Either that later afternoon, later that evening, or to the next day. Because this is a Windstream show. It's not a bigger show compared to the other shows, and usually it takes a while for to put out those pictures. But if it's like Tim Gardner, if it's like Arnold, or it's Olympia, the prejudging shows we put out that day. You know, because those are big shows, and I think they probably put a rush on them. You know, because they can probably slip a little extra hit here. And usually, when you strength like we did Savannah, they did the photos for Savannah, and I think it was the next day for the pictures for that show, because that was a Lenda show. I think with Norfolk and Savannah, those were both Lenda shows, and usually Winning Strength will usually do photos for that. But news sorry, NPC News Online did the photos for that show. But give me a second. I'll pull you up the points, the score sheet. The score sheet was out before the photos were out, because that's score sheets. So give me a second, and I just feel I don't know. I like what I saw from the pictures from her um, first cut out. She looked really good. I mean, I even saw a picture of her when she took a picture with the Talia, and you saw her arms, but I saw her quads. She wore a little skirt, little dress. Her quads look amazing. 'Cause I know you follow Tamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she looked amazing. Now, and I thought if she was in first call out, you would think she was going to be in the finals, but I don't know what's good. Now, this is the score sheet. Now, I got
Now,
Michaela.
now I saw the score sheet. I did see the score sheet. The problem is though is that we're not seeing all the points that the judges added up to get that score sheet.
hmm Well, you know how the judges are. They keep that stuff to themselves. Unless they take pictures themselves and put it on their social media, usually you wouldn't know. Now, see, Tamara, she got 19, and then you have here with Shaquita and Janine, they have 17 with asterisks by them. They both have 17s. But I mean, what's it's let's say tie broken by relative placing.
That
So
means that they went through. Um, they added up the. I'm trying to remember the exact. So they went through the previous rounds and saw who's got the highs and lows and went through to see who stood where, and the one with the lows in that round is the winner. This isn't unusual. This has happened a few times. Um, Irish Kyle's first heavyweight Olympia title was won through a tie-breaking this very same tie-breaking system in 2001.
no, well, not 2001, because remember she won
No,
2000.
it was 2001. The
Was no
heavyweight title.
the heavyweight title. Okay, yeah, she actually didn't win a title in 2001. She won. Okay, yeah. I can thank you for correcting me. He's a little bit. I forgot because I forgot back then they was doing divisions. Lightweight. They had the classes. Yeah, lightweight and heavyweight, and she was up against Julia Bergman. No, she was up against I think
Vicky Gates.
Vicky Gates. Yeah, Vicky Gates. And then she got to the finals. She was up against Julia Bergman that year.
And then she lost to Julia Bergman, yeah.
And then she lost to Linda the next two times. But that is like I said, it's interesting, But the quick question is, what they saw in Tamara is the reason why she didn't get her, get to be part of the finals.
Um, yeah, I don't really know like what they saw. I mean, like what is there like not to put her in at least because the finals is the top five or no top six. Um, so yeah, they put her in seventh, and I mean I don't really know what to say. I mean, she seemed pretty full. Yeah, quads, legs, delts, arms. Yeah, there was nothing really too much to complain about her with compared to the other competitors.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think this was, even though this was a good show, a good lineup, but the thing is, I think some women, they just wasn't, like, particularly two ladies who made their bodybuilding debut, and I give congratulations. And one lady appreciated that was Nicole Gray, and another Gorley, if I wanted to get a name right. And the other Tamara G, she just, I don't know what the hell was she thinking. I mean, she just, I don't know. I mean, she, I mean, you got to see the picture. The girl, I don't know what. I mean, uh, I just, come on, you know,
Yeah,
come on, girl. I mean, you're not even barely in condition. You don't really have no size. Why are you? I'm saying this is that shit that J.D. Pinder said about a while back. Girls jump over to do bodybuilding. No, don't do that. If you don't have the conditioning, you don't have the size, don't do it. Do physique. Or you can do
so
math.
I wouldn't even do physique. I would go to bikini with that kind
Nah,
of.
nah, nah. She figure, maybe figure, but
Uh,
yeah, but not bikini. One thing about bikini, you gotta have huge jugs. It's not just
oh
that's
yeah.
yeah. You just can't be too. You can't be if you don't have no boobs. Usually, you rarely ever see bikini girls who are naturally well endowed, and or just you can't be too muscular. It has to be figure. I think she should do figure if she's gonna do that. I mean, the figure girls, and then the problem is she might get blown out by figure girls. I mean, the one of the girls who figured, the one who just won who won Linda, her name is, I think, I forgot her name. I found it, I forgot it. She looked pretty good, and she probably could really. And then, like I said, Nicole Gray, she's from my home state of North Carolina. She hadn't competed since 2015 when she earned a pro card, and she's I know she's happy to be there, but you know she should do figures. Maybe figure, or more or less she can do physique, and she can compete in masters. She can do masters because there's a show coming up that same week of the same weekend of the Chicago Pro is the World Pro Masters show. She should do that. That would have been the better show to make your debut in. They have women's bodybuilding. You know, a lot of these women who don't have the size and the overall great conditioning should either do physique or do masters. You can do both. You can do there's physique masters. You can do that. That would be better for you. But it's just no. She just I don't know. It's just a bad move to do that. Come in and thinking you're going to do well. Now I would say um, this show, even though you had a good body of number of women there, it was just kind of. I think it was a lot of disappointments in a way. One off is everybody. The big talk has been ever since last year is Julia Fari,
Yeah.
and Julia, she's a We Safe ambassador. She's very popular. She has, she's blonde, beautiful, attractive. I mean, they are putting a lot of stock behind Julia. But the problem was, Julia didn't really come in the best condition. It was at least about 3 weeks since the um the Puerto
Puerto
Rico,
Rico. Yeah.
yeah, and she just, I don't know why. They, like I said, out of all the other girls, she was one of the ones that they showed that did a video for. I'll pull it up in a bit.
Yeah.
Get a video for her, and we do right here, and here she goes. Now she's pretty impressive. She has a bit size to it, but her conditioning. She needs to come in tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Tighter and tighter. I think a lot of it has to do with her size. She's very tall,
hmm
but yeah, she's retaining a lot of uh, uh,
fluid.
uh, uh, fluid. Not a lot of details.
hmm
Just all around. Uh, Look, I mean, if you're doing this long as I've been doing this for, like the fact that I watched like the first like couple minutes of this show, the prejudging, and right away, like even before the show began, I had already predicted who the winner was going to be. And just looking at the first few minutes, I already knew Michelle Aycock was going to win it. I even left a YouTube comment for you, and I even predicted, like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's going to win the show.
hmm
Like, it's really not that hard to figure out who the winner is going to be before the
Yeah.
show even ends. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just the reality of it. There's always going to be one competitor who always comes in the best. I mean, it was basically Michelle Aycock, and then it's like power level, power level, power level down, and then it's like the rest of the women in like the top seven, and then after that it's power level, everybody else.
hmm Yeah, because Michaela, even though for her height, you can see, she has huge. She probably has the biggest quads on there to show.
Yeah,
And because it's her being like, it's kind of what they say. She's like a fire plug. The shorter women can really put on a good amount of muscle compared to the women who are much taller. As at the comedian show, ladies go up confronting with Miss Teenage Women. She was at the show, and Michaela, she's much broader. She has good lat development. I think one people say that I was talking with a friend of mine, and he said that the only thing problem was around her quads and her sweeping, and also how she did her side chest. Like with some of
yeah,
these I also talked to, she has a great overall physique. And think also what happened when the situation where a car got broken. The big
yeah,
concern
yeah,
was the stress would affect
yeah.
her, but it looked like it affected her too much. She's like I said, she's gonna have a tough time. She's gonna be she's not. I don't think she's gonna be a rising. I believe also, and doing the Olympia. If I was her, I say let's skip the rising, but she already put her invitation for what, so she's gonna compete there, and she looked pretty impressive. I mean, um, like I said, she put on a good performance. And I think the other lady who competed against her, Sherry Pomeri, you know, she looked pretty good too. And this was her bodybuilding debut. She competed as a physique competitor for a good while. She last competed in 2020, and then she took a couple years off. Well, actually a year off because she year 2021 and come back in 2022. And I follow Sherry on Oh, give me a second. You talk for a bit, and I'll just, you know,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Second place, I thought she was pretty good. Um. Uh. So somebody like Michelle Aycock, I would classify her as potential Miss Olympia material. Um, I think if um, the right year and the right number, if the stars align and there's not enough competitors, Michelle Aycock could potentially be a Miss Olympia winner.
That's
Um,
mhm.
what was
Yeah.
that?
That's the thing. There's the star lines right. I mean, you have to see it. Only way it happens is if everybody gets sick and then just.
Well, I mean, the fact that she's what 20 something,
I think she's about 29.
she yeah, she's like 29 or 27 or something like that. All the other competitors are like a decade plus older than her. for the most part, um, even Andrea Saul is like 30 something 8. Don't
Mm-hmm.
quote me on that. Um, so Andrea Shaw still has a few more good years in her, but all she has to do is just, you know, um, outlast Andrea and then just swoop in. I mean, other than that, I don't really see too many because all the other competitors, for the most part, are going to be retiring soon in the top of the Olympias. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like because I think original plan was that Hella was going to do this Olympia, I believe, and then retire after that. And
Yeah.
then I'm hearing, like I said, I heard this before. Some people said that Margie's going to retire because Margie, she started her own. I think she's out in Vegas. She got her own business. She's making her own money. That's why she hasn't done the Rising Phoenix in since 2020. And she's only just doing Olympia because she can afford it because I think she's doing. I think she runs a weed dispensary because Vegas weed's pretty much legal.
Yes.
And then I think Irene might consider retiring because she's 50 something. She's like 55, 56. This might be her last year, and then you're gonna get a fresh crop. And I think Andrea, she's gonna be 39 in December. She can keep on going for the next 3 years. I think what she wants to do, she wants to break Iris's record for the most.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I probably agree with you that because I think Iris is a lot younger than yeah, she was a lot younger than uh Andrea when she became a pro. I think Iris like was in her early 30s, if not late 20s, when she turned pro. And then by the time that last Miss Olympia, she was like in her mid to early 30s, and that's been uh, 8 years. I think Iris is about 50 now. She's about 56, 55. I know I did a birthday video for her some time ago, and it's gonna be a tough record to beat. I think if, like I say, Andrew might try to push, maybe she might do like she might try to tie for Linda, or maybe
8th, yeah, or
or maybe
6th.
tie like possibly tie with Corey Everson. That could be it. The
Yeah.
only one that probably can beat that number, that 10 points, is a lot younger competitor. Somebody who comes in there like if somebody, if, like I said, when Michaela can keep on going because she had two hernia surgeries a while back, and she took a step back about a good bit when what the story was that her friend of hers killed himself, and then she felt it kind of hurt her personally. It was a friend. I did a video about that. She addressed the video. I respected that. Just but if she is consistent for the next 6 or 7 years, I don't see her beating that record. No one's going to beat that record. It's going to be impossible to beat that record. You have to come in and not be even. You have to really come in. It's going to be hard to beat. No one's going to beat that record.
Yeah. Yeah, it might never be beaten. That's the whole point. I mean, you know, some
Mm.
records are just made not to be broken.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's hard to break any kind of record. It's just even like you know some like I remember when story when Hank Aaron beat Babe Ruth's record. There was a lot of people like calling like threatening him and all that stuff. And then Barry Bonds beat Hank's record. Those are records are I think are different players because it's next generation. But with I think Linda's, I mean Iris's record is gonna stand for a good long time. She is the most wins as Olympia, both man and woman. She beat out people like Heaney, Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger. She has that title. They're gonna say, "Oh, it's a woman," but still, she's Olympia. She has 10 wins. Yes, she lost in her first try at the title. Then her her first three shots she lost. And then she won. Then she took a loss and she won. But still, for after that, she had 9 consistent Olympia wins. That's one thing as a record. There's some people that lost in here and broke them and come back but she had 9 outside of Corey Everson. only person that had that many consecutive wins in a career. We say Linda had 8, but she took a couple losses after she retired, came back, and picked up 2 more. But with Irish, she has 9 consecutive wins at Miss Olympia, plus the one her first win.
And plus the heavyweight one as well.
Mhm. Well, I don't count that. That's not really count as Miss Olympia. You won the heavyweight division. I mean the heavyweight class, but you didn't win the overall title. That don't really count. You won the because like I said that is you did win. You win in your like it's no difference if you won in NPC when they have in NPC they have the weight classes. You win in your class, but you don't win the overall. That don't really count per se.
I guess.
Yeah, you can't really count that per se. It is a win, but it's not the overall win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, is I looking to my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams. Uh, she she didn't do too well, and I feel bad for Tina. Me and Tina, we were talking on the phone here and there. We were on IG. I sent her the pictures, and she was happy to get pictures. She's been looking for these pictures, and she looked pretty good. I mean, I think she looked she looked all right. I mean, I think one thing was, if you know about Tina, she's been dealing with some issues with her husband, Mr. Big Keith. He's been going something. Sometimes that stress can really affect you. And she some pictures she sent me from when she's getting prepped and stuff like that. It was just what up to salute to my man Balls Deep. What up and salute. Appreciate you man for Balls Deep for coming in as usual. What I missed? Well, you missed too much Balls Deep. If you want, you can watch it later and see what we're talking about. Chicago in the house. This shit again. I'm not gonna say it. Whatever. And smash the like button. Yeah, I appreciate you. Smash that like button. So I'm gonna put my man Balls Deep. But I was going back with Tina. I saw a clip because a female bodybuilding channel. They they did a little commentary on the show, and they posted both the video of Tina and Julia from the finals, and that's pretty good. That's they got to be on. Usually they talk about all the other girls, but they talk about those 2 ladies. I think there was talk that because they're the bigger women, the possibilities of them, but it seemed like it was a very very short line, a lot of shorties in this lineup, and you know like I said, I feel bad for Tina. Tina's planning to do Chicago, and she's hoping maybe this week can give her time to maybe bring her conditioning, come in a little tighter. Because Tina, she's trained by Alina Popa, and she was hoping to get Olympic qualification. I remember last year we did an interview where I think it was back in 2020 where she missed Olympic qualification because she took third in New York when they brought back female bodybuilding to New York Pro. That was the year Mala Ash, made her return, made her switch to female bodybuilding from physique. She took third at that show, and then she told me she missed being in Olympia, by a point, by 1 point. If she had done the Tampa that year, she would have got her Olympic qualification. But I think she probably would have did better than some of the girls under. I remember LaDon Madej won that show that year, and all she had to do is, LaDon to me never really comes in great condition. I don't know what is it about LaDon that she always comes in like, too smooth. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did New York last year. She took third at that show, and a lady who's competing, I'm confirmed with Miss Winnie Sanchez. She placed fifth. Winnie should have been a little higher. Winnie did also the New York Pro, and me and Winnie were talking how she should have got a little higher that show because that's the same show that Shaquita was in. Also, that show that Stephanie Fletcher took second, and Stephanie still looked a little soft. And I seen a picture that Whitney posted where she shows her glutes, and her glutes were tight. And Wendy's, I think Wendy, she's a how she calls herself. She's a fire plug. She's short. She's a little bit. Her waist is not as tapered in, but I think she had better condition compared to Pauline Nelson, who took 7 in that show, and then even I think even though Michelle Brent is a little older, Michelle her condition looked pretty good compared to Pauline. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a fan, not a judge. But man, balls deep. Yeah, I love her glutes. Who are you talking about? You talking about who glutes you talking about? Balls deep, because we were talking glutes, and who are you talking about? You're talking about Michaela. You're talking about you gotta give us a name, balls deep. But my thing is also I felt like Tamara, she said again, she should have placed a little, I think she either fifth or sixth. That's just my opinion. I think she got
Yeah.
50. I don't, I don't, I don't know. Like I said, I am being, like I said, I'm being much of a fan. Like I'm gonna post some pictures. Like here's her with with Natalia, and I'll show you. I pull up in a minute, and you know, you can see her quads. Look at her quads. They really had that diamond look. She's wearing this dress. Look at her arms.
Yeah.
I thought she would. That's just in her street clothes. You know,
Yeah.
and then she was in the first call out. You have Tamara. That means if because I think they do like this. You put the evens on one side and the odds on the other. So that means that more likely, I think Tamara was gonna be sixth. No, she was gonna be fifth. Because if you like this, okay, you got Michaela's first. You got Sherry as a who became second. Then you have Tequila at fourth, and Janine at sixth. So I put Leah at third,
The
and Tamara at Tamara. Tamara at fifth.
fifth.
And I think it looked like there's another is that another elbow or just man in the corner. And then they changed it up, and they put Shaquita in the spot. But I think the thing is they might have been feel like there was something issues with her. She looked pretty good. Look at her tricep, her quad looked pretty good. I you know there's like
Yeah.
she had
Nothing really to complain about.
yeah.
Abdominal. Everything looks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might have said something about her glutes, but her glutes look pretty good. They look, really tight. I think, I don't know. I think with Shaquita, she is kind of, she's not, I seen a picture of Shaquita. She has good definition, but even she's still a bit smooth compared to some of the other
Yeah.
ones. I mean, like I said, it's just my just assessment of what I think. My man Balls Deep here again. Stephanie Fletcher. Well, Stephanie needs to tighten up her arm glutes because she looked too soft in the last couple of shows. She really need to get more styrated. And what's the hell that name? Balls Anna, whatever her name is, I'm not gonna pronounce it. She has great glutes. And Ball Deeps is a real fan of Tamara McCarr. Tamara looks pretty good, especially. Also, I was talking to Tamara that there was a guy at the show, and it's he took some pictures, and also uh, he was a bit, I would say, touchy feely in a way.
Yes. I did see
He,
that video. Yes.
yeah, it was on IG, but later that video was taken down. But the fact was that it was found later on um, YouTube because the guy he saw my video, my interview with uh for the what's the face, and he you know he made comments like he said like, oh, he took pictures of the show. I said okay, so I'll go over there see if he put pictures in his community section. Well, he doesn't have a community section yet. He's only like over 200 something subscribers, and well, you know, this thing is, guys out there, um, if you're into these ladies, you're a fan of these ladies, you can't be touchy feely. You gotta be respectful. That's why I tell you guys out here, don't send these ladies D pics. Don't send this stuff. They don't like this stuff. That is borderline sexual harassment.
Yeah, we're not implying that this guy did that, right? We're just
He
implying that he was just touchy.
just touchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Just clarifying because I don't.
just
I'm just
clarifying.
clarifying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. But guys, that's why I tell you guys, be respectful for these ladies. These ladies, they come here, they come do a show, they are, and you can't be doing stuff like that. And if you do it, be, come on, be respectful. And I was even talking to Leah Denny, and he did the same thing to her. And, you know, yeah, it says my man Balls Deep. I hope he washed his hands. I don't know. Maybe she used sanitizer, Balls Deep. You know, uh, he was creep life. Yeah, he's creep life. She liked it. No, Balls Deep. She was being nice. She was being polite. She didn't like it. Some of these women don't like that stuff. They don't like you guys. If you come up to these ladies, be respectful. Be like, hey, how you doing? What's my name? And be understanding that they are. These are women, and most women, just women, everyday women, don't like to be touched by men. Sometimes, if unless you really know the woman, and she's comfortable with you touching her, that's fine. But if you're not really good friends with this person, don't do that. Come on, just be like, say, maybe a handshake, or if she doesn't mind, if she won't let you give you a hug, that's good too. But don't be the guy who wants to grab and touch. There's guys out there. You see these ladies in person, say hello, hi, a handshake, and if she doesn't mind giving you a hug, give her a hug. But other than that, keep your distance. Come on, guys. I'm not gonna put his
Yeah.
name out because, like I say, he knows who he is, and I just, like I said, my content when I do my interviews, I tell guys don't send in pics. And they still do anyway. We know that. No matter what you tell these guys out there, and I know I honestly, I am a muscle puller smoke, but when I met some of these ladies, when I got me some of these ladies, I wasn't too like, oh wow, can I touch you? I can't touch you. No, I like. I took a picture with a couple of ladies like Rashana Boswell and Claire Rouse, Amanda Snooks, and Mary Ann Wachowski. And even when I got to see Mary Ann, she gave me a big hug. We only talk on phone and we did interviews together. She was on my live streams, and she gave me a hug, and I appreciate that because she's a nice lady. And she's a sexy grandma. She's competing this weekend at the show, the World uh, Championships. But fellas, just be smart. But anyway, we're gonna go back to where we're talking about the Atlanta Pro, and some of the other ladies. Like I said again, one lady it was supposed to be 12 women this show, and it dropped down to 11. One of the ladies that was supposed to be show was Jennifer Childress. Jennifer, she got sick, and I hope she's all right. I hope she feels better. Maybe she rebounds. Maybe to Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know if it would have made a difference at all. But um, yeah. What's it? Yeah, definitely. Uh, keep your hands to yourself. Generally. You know how I'm actually a pretty cautious, quiet kind of guy, honestly. Um, Especially if I meet somebody in person. But even when I was near these ladies, I didn't. I mean, the closest I got was taking a picture with Hella Trevino. Besides that, no, I didn't really. Um, I didn't even bug them either, cause like, what kind of bodybuilder who just got off the stage wants to deal with some fucking some fan just hackling them over something stupid or something like that. Um, yeah, just But enough of that. Um, uh, one I do see some potential in who was the girl? I'm terrible with names. Who's the girl from North Carolina?
Oh, Shaquita.
Shaquita. Yeah, I see some potential in her.
Yeah, she has
I
potential.
see. I see some potential in the second place one as well.
Sherry Palmieri.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I see some potential in them. The Denny, another well-known name. And yeah, I also see potential in Tamara. Um, I'll be interested to see who gets the list for the Chicago this weekend.
Hmm.
Uh, sorry.
Hmm.
And we also have to keep in mind too, whoever wins the amateur also gets to get qualified for
The Rising.
Rising Phoenix.
And
But
also, yeah, and
that's
also they can do the Chicago too, because all you got to do is win in your class, you get your pro card, and your overall you get to do the Rising Phoenix. But also, some ladies have done this where they won the overall, and when they won the pro card, they compete in Chicago too.
hey, that's a smart idea.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't see anybody who wins the amateur at Chicago going on to place in the top something, the top five of Rising Phoenix. But it's always nice to get that early exposure. But what's it? I guess in terms of like points, the points have pretty much been uh, uh, the points have largely stayed the same at the top. Da, 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 da.
Well, usually they probably be a couple of days before they, update it, because
It's already been updated.
are they updated? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay, here's who's qualified:
all right.
Andrea Shaw, Hella Trevino, Margie Martin, Nadia
Capasoto. That's
Capasoto, Mila Ash, Evo Montgomery, Teresa
Avancing.
Ivanchik, uh,
Avancing.
Ivanchik,
Avancing.
uh,
Stop it. Let's just go by their first names, and that'd be a lot easier.
Donna Salib, Lisa Kudry, uh, Dali,
Danielle
Del,
Wills.
Danielle Willis, uh, Rashina Boswell,
Shauna.
Rasana Boswell. We're gonna go with last name with this one. Boreos,
Mm-hmm.
Branka,
You say
Nag,
Bronca. We know Bronca. Bronca Nojogovic, or Jojovic. Bronca Nojovic, I think it is, but we just go Bronca. If you can't get the first name, just okay. And last but not least,
Michelle Aycock,
Michaela.
Michaela Aycock.
Yeah. And
And then we got Michelle Jen at a whopping 22 points. Mona Parcella at 12. Stephanie Fletcher at 12. Um, uh, Al.
Irene Einstein, she has 11 points.
No, it's a Brazilian one. Barreto.
Arsenio Barretos. Yeah, so she got how many points she got
12.
now? 12.
12.
So that's
Tied.
we got a three-way tie with Stephanie, Mona, and Barrios. But the thing is, they're gonna go with either with Stephanie. We're not knowing when she's gonna come back because she she has that foot injury from New York.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mona, from what information I got, Mona has moved to Texas. That's why she needed the Toronto Pro. I was wondering why she needed Toronto. She has moved to Texas, so she might try to do Chicago or try to do Tampa, or she might try to do Savannah. And also that Irene got 11 points, but with
Yeah, she's at 11.
Irene, she could have done if she was in condition enough, she could have done a show in Portugal, but we don't know what she's going to do. She might even come back to the States, so she might do maybe Tampa, because if she don't do no shows, then she took first place last year, but she didn't do no shows this year to get points or qualification, then she's out. It's going to be the top three, and if, like I said, Michelle's still at 22, all Mona has to do is win a show, and she gets into qualification. Stephanie, if she don't either do a show or get enough points, she's out. But the thing is that she has a hit, or her foot got to heal, and with Abadios, she has to, get another show under her belt, because she don't, somebody who's already maybe, got fewer points. If you do a show like Chicago or Tampa, they can get enough points, they can jump over her.
Yeah. They're still not. I mean, outside of Michelle Jen, all the rest of the ones at the bottom here, all they need is like 4 or 5 points, like a good second place at a very high ranking show, and they can probably overcome them or tie with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see any of them overcoming it. The one girl from Spain, um, she's at 10, but besides that, everybody else is way down beyond that. So they need like really good showings at the rest of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just because they're tied now doesn't mean they won't be. Uh, will be like that later, because things could change or anything like that. And I don't know, maybe Stephanie comes back, maybe Mona competes somewhere else, maybe this Brazilian girl comes somewhere
To the
outside
States.
of. Yeah.
Because she has to come to the States, because there's no more. So, like I said, the Europa Championship's been pushed to November, and qualification for the Olympic ends the week right after the Savannah. So for her to either get qualification or enough points, she has to do Savannah, Tampa, or Chicago.
Yeah, I guess the only one we can safely say will be Olympia qualified is Michelle Jen. Like, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because she can try to do a show. She can try a new show she wants, but you can't just sometimes you just can't sit on that numbers. But I think she's probably safe, because she done.
22 points.
Yeah, that's
You'd like there's 4 shows left, 22 points. That's
3 shows left, really.
Whatever the number is, but that's almost impossible to overcome.
Yeah, it is possible. Because remember, was it last year, Margita Zelova, she had 26 points. She could have sat and just waited, to just get qualification, because she did the Romania Master Fest. I think she took third at that show last year, and was it 2020 she did Romania Master Fest. Then she did Puerto Rico. I think she did the Portugal Pro show, and that probably got her enough points and then she did Europa. She won the Europa in that show. And this is one thing I was wondering, because last year the Europa, when it was in Olympia qualification guidelines, she was her and Salva Mate, they both went because Salva took second in that show, and they both went because there's so few shows for European competitors. But the Portugal Pro, which is the only show for qualification for European champions for European bodybuilders for this year, why didn't you do the same thing with Branca and Barrios? I'm just wondering.
I
You know,
have no idea.
yeah, just that's
Um, I don't know how these things work anymore.
me. It's funny how somebody who was in first call outs didn't get seventh place, while somebody who was in second call out get pulled up. I don't. It's just the math on this. Like somebody stirred the Kool Aid, man. Someone stirred the Kool Aid. But
Yeah.
I think, like I said, it was a good show. We hope we get it back next year. Like all the other shows coming up, like the Vancouver that it was first this year, Indy, the show in Brazil. I hope they do bring it back because you know what, women's bodybuilding needs some stages. They still need some stages, and it's a struggle because like it is last year. I think this year it's just because of a lot of injuries, a lot of the cost of everything. I think and it's just been kind of I think people, especially who are fans of bodybuilding, we were kind of a bit kind of disappointed a bit, but I think things are getting a little better. Chicago's coming up, Tampa coming up, Savannah's coming up. I'm planning to go in Savannah in September. I hope nothing. That's why I keep saying. I hope. I don't. I don't want to say knock on wood. I'm gonna say knock on wood. I hope nothing gets in the way where I don't want. I can get to go because I want to go. I really want to go. Like I want to see my first bodybuilding show in person. I always wanted to go to one because one thing I couldn't afford it because work just didn't have the time, holding two jobs, and then just I wasn't much for traveling on my own. I didn't. I just. But now I'm older now. I'm a little bit smarter. Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity now. So, but this was a decent show, a good showing of ladies. We're hoping the next shows are a little better, more bodies. I know most definitely from information I gathered, I know Sheena Orlick is going to do a show because she won it last year. I saw Jenny Welker who worked the booths at the at the um, at the Atlanta show. She said she's mentioned she's going to do the show. Chelsea Dion, she's supposed to be doing the show, and I think Tamra, she said she's doing the show, and that's the ones I know from right now. Oh yeah, Tina, she said she's doing the show also in Chicago, but some others I don't know yet. Like I said, it's all depending. We might get a few more jumping from women's physique to bodybuilding, just to see how they do. If you don't have the great conditioning, you don't have the size, don't be a Nicole Gray or a Tamara Goyley. Stick with physique or do figure. If you don't have the size or the conditioning, it's not best for you to move to the division that's not yours. I mean, you don't, coming dead last is never good. It's never good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my man Balls Deep, you know, bless and peace and blessings to the chat. Thank you, Balls Deep. Peace and blessings to you. Like I said, we have anything more to talk about, or what are you thinking?
I guess the only thing I could add is you can go on to the muscle and fitness video section. The thing that hosts all the Wings of Strength uh, uh, live stream shows. If you paid for it like me, um, you get both the prejudging and final show that you can go back to rewatch again. I think they keep that up for basically the whole year. But yeah, you can go back and rewatch that. So if you want to go back and watch the pose down, or watch the finals, or watch prejudging, you can do that. Uh, um, And besides that, on to Chicago. This
Hmm.
should be interesting. I do hope they bring it back to Atlanta. Um,
I
I really also hope they bring female bodybuilding to, like, say, a place like Philadelphia. Like,
that would be great, but I doubt they're going to go back to Atlanta because that's why they have the Atlanta Pro now. They're back to Chicago where it's been for the last few years, and they only need Atlanta because it was going down with the pandemic because the capacity guidelines for shows and competitions were they couldn't have a lot of crowds, and Georgia is a little bit not as restrictive as you say when on not as smart when it comes to this whole thing with the pandemic. And I think they're gonna keep it in Chicago. You got the Atlanta Pro, and you got no choice. You got to go to Chicago. A man balls deep to the Chicago competitors. Welcome to my city. Well, balls deep. You own it. How can it be your city? You don't own it. A bootleg gang. I know about bootlegs, and uh, good luck to the ladies. Balls deep, you gonna be there at the show? I hope you enjoy a good time. And balls deep, hey, don't be that creepy guy. Don't be that creepy guy, balls deep. But yeah, I hope all these ladies have a great show. It's congratulations to Michaela Aycock. This is going to be her third Olympia. Two times as a bodybuilder, and first time she was a physique competitor. I sent her a thing. I'm hoping to get an opportunity, maybe get her on my channel, do an interview. A while back, I did a video about her. I got a few videos. She has that great physique to her, especially for her height, the pint size she is. It's just balls deep. Hell yeah, balls deep. But congratulations to all the ladies who came out. A good number of ladies, 11 compared to the last few shows. But it's all about sometimes you gotta really, if you feel like you want to be bodybuilding, that's cool, appreciate it, that's great. But if there's some things that you need to work on, size, conditioning, you either do physique or figure. That those divisions work better for you. If you don't have the size, for bodybuilding, do physique. You don't have the conditioning for bodybuilding, do figure, or maybe hey, if you something, or maybe wellness if you have the right dimensions for it. But wellness, you have you gotta get a lot of you gotta have a lot of cake for wellness. If you don't have the cake for wellness, don't do wellness. So but find
or
something that is what you.
or if you just have to take a year off, take a year off
Mm.
to focus on things.
Well, with Nicole, she was off of almost 7 years. So if she didn't really bring it in, I don't think a year off is going to work for her.
Well, yeah.
She has 7 years. She could have.
I wasn't really talking about them. I was talking about other competitors there.
Yeah. I think some of us may take a year. Or for good example is like Julie Wire found out about her. She fired a coach, and she was here in the United States. She should have just kept with a coach and went back to Switzerland. Don't like I said, don't be hanging around with certain people. Hang around with people that that can really build you up and work with your stuff. Then come here and compete. But find the right coach, find the right person, bring conditioning. If she's gonna do Chicago, she'd be better off trying go back to Tampa. Does that give her enough time to work in conditioning? Go back to Switzerland, work with another coach. I know she's supposed to be cool with Jacqueline Fuchs. Hey, work with her. She can. Jacqueline's huge. I'm hoping she
Yeah.
competes this year. I don't know if she compete this year or not, but you can't be big for no damn reason, Jay. You can't be big for no damn reason. You got to be competing. You can't be big for no damn reason. But appreciate you, brother, for coming through. I hope things turn out well for you. Appreciate man balls deep, God's will. Anybody who listens to this video, watch it later if you missed it. Give me a critique. Give me a thought. Who would you feel? You feel like Michaela deserved to win. You feel like she needs to work on a few things. You feel like that the certain competitors should have not done this show, even though it was a large lineup. Maybe it was better if it was a better quality lineup. That's my thoughts of it. So, anyway, it's your man all the way, George Page, my man Jared, right here, aka Jen.
Jen. You says yes.
Yeah, we'd like to thank you all again. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. And like, comment, subscribe, join us, check us out. We gotta get my man Jen here to start doing content. We gotta get him on board. Get people encourage my man Jim to get some content. Put some stuff on his YouTube. Make his channel grow. But anyway, shout out to all people out there, all ladies competing the show this weekend, and shout outs to the rest of you who follows my channel. Much appreciation and good luck. This is me all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a great day.
Peace, everybody.